The hoe is one of the most underused tools in the game. We usually craft one, generally using iron or stone, use it to make a farm, then leave it in a chest and never use it again. To help make this tool a bit more relevant, I would add 5 enchantments that would affect the way we farm vegetables. First, however, I would remove one interesting feature: the increase in drops that we get when collecting vegetables using a tool that has fortune. Let's face it, using a magic pickaxe to dig out some carrots should not create carrots out of thin air. But do not worry, this change would be neatly compensated. The first 2 enchantments would have 1 level each and would be incompatible with each other. They would affect the farmland that you create using the hoe. With hydration, you would create permanently hydrated farmland, whether or not the block is in range of water. This enchantment would be useful, for example, to make farms in the nether, or to avoid wasting space with water blocks. With sturdy soil, you would create durable farmland that cannot be trampled as long as a crop is planted on it. These sturdy farmland blocks could still be hydrated with regular means. This enchantment would be useful, for example, if you want to use decorative crops in a place where they could be trampled, or if slimes keep finding a way to jump in your farm. The other 3 would be part of a category called fertilization. They would have 3 levels each, would be compatible with the previous 2 enchantments, but they would be incompatible with each other. With these enchantments, you could use your hoe on hydrated farmland to turn it into fertilized farmland. These fertilized farmland blocks would have some interesting properties that we will explore a bit later. They would revert back to regular farmland blocks after harvesting the crops on them, so you would need to refertilize them with your hoe every time you plant a new crop. The first type of fertilization would be called bountiful harvest. A crop planted on this type of fertilized farmland would yield more produce when harvested. The increase in production would be proportional to the enchantment level. This would be useful when you want as many veggies as you can, but you are in no rush to actually get them, or you have plenty of bone meal. The second type of fertilization enchantment would be called fast growth. Crops planted on farmland fertilized by this enchantment would grow a lot quicker, making them harvestable earlier. This would be mostly useful when you need some veggies quick and do not have access to bone meal, or if you're able to harvest your crops on a more frequent basis. The last fertilization enchantment would be called magic crops. A plant that grows on this type of farmland would have a chance to get a special effect specific to each kind of vegetable. For example, eating a magic carrot could give you night vision for a short time, a magic potato could give absorption, stuff like that. Those properties would be kept when you craft a meal with those magic vegetables. So for example, rabbit stew, crafted with magic carrots and potatoes, would give night vision and absorption. I think this enchantment could help make some, let's say, unpopular crops a bit more interesting and help introduce some new food mechanics that I might discuss in a future episode. These last 3 enchantments will work a bit differently with melons and pumpkins, however, since they do not grow the same way the other crops do. The effect would be removed after the stalk spawns a fruit, but could be added back to the farmland without having to remove the stalk. Aside from that difference, they would work the way you would expect them to. Bountiful harvest would give the stalk a chance to grow more than 1 fruit as long as there is space for them to spawn, fast growth would spawn a fruit faster, and magic crops would create magic melons and pumpkins. I already have some ideas for the effects of each kind of magic vegetable, but nothing is set in stone yet, so I really want to read your suggestions in the comments below. If you have any comment or more suggestions concerning the hoe, or if there is another Minecraft related topic that you would like me to discuss, please write that down below as well, and I will be super happy to read it. I would like again to thank my friends over at the Withering Effect podcast who inspired this series. They do some amazing stuff, and you should really go and listen to them if you haven't already. Thanks for watching!